Welcome to Beads, Baubles, and Jewels. I'm Katie Hecker, your host, and we move beyond the simplicity of our own environment to inspiration from the exotic, beginning with Tracy Gonzalez. Welcome, Tracy.
Thanks, Katie.
I'm glad you're here.
I'm glad I'm here too.
This is a beautiful project.
Thank you.
Really fun, and I could see it going a lot of different ways. People could customize it however they want to.
It's a versatile the focal component is a versatile little piece. It's a link, so it's got holes, 5 holes on one side and 1 on the other, so really have some versatility there.
Well, and it's one of my favorite symbols.
This is the Hamsa hand, and it is really fitting for this theme, I think, because it's very well known as a Middle Eastern symbol, but it's also got a lot of cultural meaning in different belief systems as well. And traditionally, I think if you see it with the fingers up, it symbolizes protection, and if you see it with the symbols down, it symbolizes good luck.
Either way.
Yes, it's a fun symbol.
Something we all need.
Right, exactly.
Okay, well, what are we going to do to get started here?
Well, we're going to make an earring with the Hamsa hand and incorporating some recycled sari silk, which is also a really wonderful.
Which I love.
Yeah, and it's also fitting with the exotic travel theme. So, the first thing I'd like to demonstrate is this ear wire blank, and I don't know that people are really familiar with ear wire blanks. They're just ear wires that don't have the loop at the end, and that's so that you can customize it and add your own embellishment to it. So in this case, I'm going to add a 4mm bicone crystal, and I just string it on there, and then making sure to protect the crystal with my thumbnail because I don't want it to crack. I'm just going to fold that over and use some round nose pliers to form a simple loop.
Okay.
And I could use, many things to embellish this ear wire. I could use seed beads. I could use small spacers.
Yeah, it's a fun way to bring some flair into a component, kind of an everyday component.
Right. And customize it to your design.
Well, yeah, and if you were giving these as gifts or selling your work, it makes it yours.
Right.
Okay, what's next?
So they're very easy to use, and they're also available. You can get them in longer lengths, so I could really add,
so you could do bigger beads.
I could
fun.
add more stuff. So the next thing I'm going to create for this particular design is just a little crystal dangle. So I've got a head pin, and I'm going to string on another one of those little crystal bicones.
Okay.
And trim that off. And use my round nose pliers again to form a simple loop. And again, I'm kind of protecting that crystal because I don't want it to crack.
Precious. Precious goods there. Nice.
Yeah, so now I've got, actually we'll only need 2 of those for one earring. I'm set up for a pair, but we'll set those ones aside. And now I want to make my tassel.
Okay.
With my chain, I've got a couple of lengths of a fine chain about 6 inches long and a piece of that sari silk also about 6 inches. And the first thing I'm going to do is fold this piece of sari silk in half. And I've also got some 24 gauge craft wire, just a small piece.
Okay.
So I just want to, I've got my fold up there, and I'm just going to wrap that to secure it.
Yeah, and this piece seems like perfection is not the goal.
It's not.
Security is a goal.
Your wire wrap does not have to be all tidy and pretty. That's totally a designer's choice. You have designers who really like their wire wraps very neat and tidy, and others who are very flexible about it. So now I've got that wrap secured, and I trimmed off the extra.
Okay.
And I've got some small 4mm round jump rings here. I'm just going to thread that through the loop I made at the top.
Nice.
Whoop. I almost proceeded without adding my chain. So I've got my 2 little pieces of chain. I want to kind of fold a piece in half and thread a link onto one side of my tassel.
Okay.
And then I'm going to repeat that.
Oh, that makes your tassel really lush with the 2.
And I'm not concerned about them being right in the center because I want that variation in the lengths of the chain. I want the tassel to have some.
Give some more texture.
Yeah.
Plus, you don't have to stress.
Right. No math involved. And so there we have our little sari silk and chain tassel. So the next step, I think, is I'll use another one of these. Oh, actually, no, I want to use one of the small oval jump rings to attach that tassel to the center bottom loop of my Hamsa hand link. And I want to make sure when I attach that, I want to make sure that my chains didn't get moved both to one side.
The other side. Okay.
I want one on each side.
Okay. And you know, I had oval jump rings in my stash for a long time before I realized their merits. You know, especially when you're adding things, you're not just using them for a connection, but you're adding the chain, you're adding charms, you're adding dangles. It gives you just that extra space.
It gives you extra space, and it's also an oval jump ring, from what I understand, is more secure because a round jump ring, the opening can rotate down to where the weight is hanging on it, where with an oval jump ring, it's not going to.
On the side.
The opening is going to be at the
brilliant.
side, so it's more secure.
That's great. I didn't know that.
Less risk of it opening up from the weight of whatever's hanging on it. So now I've got another little jump ring. I'm going to add one of my dangles next to the tassel.
Good. So you're just building it all out.
Yes.
You know, and if somebody is making a different look, they can use all of these same techniques and create them in their own way to create something very specific to them.
Yeah, I mean, there's the sari silk. If you've ever seen it in a store, it just comes in a dizzying array of colors. It's really beautiful. So there's a lot of potential there for different designs. Yeah. So now I've got my little ear wire, and I'm just going to add that to the top.
Okay. Great.
And you know, when you open an ear wire loop, it's like a jump ring. You never want to open it by opening up the loop. You always want to do the side-to-side twisting motion.
Right. I always do this deal.
There you go.
Not this. Yeah.
And
cool.
there you go.
This is fantastic. Let's take a look at your finished earrings here. These are some other colorways that people can make.
And the same technique with this one. I think I added dangles. You know, the hand has the 3 fingers and the thumb and then the pinky, sort of. So I added little dangles to those outer fingers as well on this one. And I used sea beads on this one instead of the crystals.
Well, and with pewter components like this, if the holes aren't exactly the way you want them, you can just make more.
That is true. It's pewter is a fairly soft alloy, so it's really easy to use metal hole punching tools to make additional holes, or use round files to enlarge a hole. They're very versatile.
Yeah, they really are. Well, there's another pair of the fuchsia earrings. And then let's take a look at that bracelet. That is beautiful sari silk too. It's a great design.
It's wonderful.